in 1905, okay? You have these guys here. These guys are the original residents of this property. I call them the Wilsons and the Andersons, okay? They're actually Paiute Indians, okay? So who was really here before Las Vegas was established? It was the Paiute Indians and the Mormons that came down from Utah. Northeast of this state, kind of. All right, so you have these guys, okay? The first Caucasian was this guy, Willard George. Okay? He purchased the property in 1929. His claim to fame was he was the furrier to the stars. So what he was doing is he was raising chinchillas here on the property to make chinchilla furs for Hollywood actresses. Okay, but the only problem that he had was the chinchillas end up being snack food to the badgers and the mountain lions. So it didn't work out very well for him. So he turned around and sold the property to this guy, Chester Lauck, in 1948. Okay, and it was Chester Lauck that built this ranch house, which is about 3,000 square feet. Okay, he sold the property to this lady, Vera Krupp, in 1955. Okay, and what we'll do is we'll talk more about her soon. She sold the property to this guy, Howard Hughes. Have you ever heard of Howard Hughes? No. Okay. I guess he never did anything in South America. But he did a lot of things in North America and Europe. That's all I'm going to tell you. And if you want to know, I'll tell you a little bit more about Howard Hughes soon, but I always tell people, if you want to know more, even in Colombia, there's a little thing called the internet.
Okay.
You can always Google them. Okay? Almost like MSN or another search engine. Okay? But we'll talk more about him soon. But he bought the property in 1967 for his third wife, Hollywood actress Jean Peters. His third wife. Okay? We'll talk more about him soon. He sold the property to Jones and Murphy in 1972. And they tried to turn this property into a residential community with a focus on horseback riding, but publicly and politically got shot down. And then after 2 years, they sold the property to the state of Nevada in 1974. Okay, so now what we're going to do is let's head down this way. Now, this room is what I call a tribute to Howard Hughes. Okay, like I said, I only give the bullet points. Okay, if you want to know more, because he was very important to this country and especially to Las Vegas. Okay, so I'll tell you what the bullet points about Howard Hughes is. He was one of the few billionaires in the world. Okay, and he owned RKO Studios. He was a Hollywood producer, Hollywood director. Spruce Goose, which wingspan to wingspan, or tip to tip, was longer than 3 football fields. So think about it, 3 soccer fields.
You may not know what the Spruce Goose is.
Ah, but there's a little thing called the internet. Okay? Look it up. You can always look it up on the internet, the Spruce Goose. Okay. You take 3 soccer fields, end to end, and from wingtip to wingtip, it was that long. Made of wood.
Wow. Made
of wood. Okay? So, the importance of Howard Hughes in Las Vegas was he was living on the ninth floor, the top floor of the Desert Inn here in Las Vegas, and he went on to buy many hotels, casinos here in town. Okay, and I feel that he's the one who kind of legitimated Las Vegas by buying out the mafia. Murder Incorporated. Okay, you know what the mafia is, right?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
mafia everywhere,
Everywhere.
no matter who they are, okay? And he was the single largest employer in the state of Nevada. Hotels, casinos, real estate, McCarran Airport Partnership, North Las Vegas Partnership, KLAS, which is Channel 8 here in town still today, okay? He owns 60 to 80% of all silver mines and gold mines in the state of Nevada, okay? And just so you know, outside of South Africa, Nevada is the #2 gold producing entity in the world.
Wow.
You can look that up on the internet. Okay, but there's a lot we can talk about, but if you just look up Howard Hughes, all this stuff will come up, and it goes on and on and on and on. But for today's purposes, do you have any other questions about this area?
Yes, but the question is when they build this house, this property.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Chester Lauck, who purchased the property
In
1948,
okay.
built this ranch.
After the German lady.
Before the German lady,
She was in 1945, no?
1955.
She was in
You know what, just for you, you know what I'm gonna do? There's gonna be a quiz after the tour.
Okay.
We'll test your memory,
Okay.
okay? 1948, Chet Lauck built a ranch house.
But I read that in the photo that it says 1945 in the photo.
Wait, I'll
All
see.
right, just for giggles, let's go back and take a look.
Yeah.
Pretty sure that's what it was. Why are you looking at her? Okay, so now you made it into Vera Krupp's bedroom, okay? So who was Vera Krupp? Vera Krupp was born in Germany, well educated in Germany and Paris. And back in the 1930s, she was a German actress, but she wanted to become a Hollywood actress. So about 1935, she went from Germany and she went to Hollywood and she became a Hollywood actress, okay? So she had her home in Bel Air, California, and in 1955, she decided she wanted to have a place she can retreat to from Hollywood. So in 1955, she purchased this property. She was actually the last owner that had this place as a working ranch. Ranch hands, animals, the whole thing. When Howard Hughes owned it, by contrast, there's actually no evidence that Howard Hughes actually visited the ranch house. Why? Because he was a recluse. He was on the 9th floor of the Desert Inn. He never came out. Nobody saw him. Now, there's no evidence that his third wife, Jane Peters, visited the ranch house either, because she preferred Los Angeles. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a couple doors. So this is some of Vera's real garments. Definitely circa 1955. Some people would say she was rather petite, okay? And one would say probably so, okay? She did enjoy entertaining here on the first floor. Sometimes 50, 60, 70 people eating, drinking, listening to music, whatever was going on. But this is known for real stuff. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close these doors and open up these doors behind you. Okay, again, this is more of Vera's real garments. Again, circa 1955. A little bit more casual, but elegant. Okay? And, you know, I think she really knew how to live here. Okay? So now we're going to close these doors. I'm going to open up this door. And, frankly, nothing really special, but I do enjoy opening doors. Okay. So, what do you think is behind here? You want to take a guess? Okay. So, tell me what this thing is. What's your guess? You can say it. Go ahead. Then I'll give you this sound. That means wrong. Does anybody know what this thing is? It is a bidet. But I usually like asking kids because I get potty, toilet, crapper, shower, foot washer, foot shower. But I did have one kid that called it a butt washer. So I said, we'll take it. But it really is a bidet. Okay. So what's a bidet doing here? Well, you have to. No, it's not a sink. It's, you know, here's what we're gonna do your own personal quiz at the end of the tour. And one of the questions is gonna be, what was that thing? You have to remember, it was a bidet. So you have to remember, what's the difference between a bidet and a toilet? So bidet, the water goes up and washes your behind. We'll go with that, okay? The toilet, you kind of sit on it, you hit it down. So keep it simple. Bidet, water up. Toilet, water down. Got it? All right. Enough of that. Step on out. I just want to get lost in that. All right, I'm going to open up this door over here. Right behind you. Okay? Up. Now this is a shower. Yeah, you see, now you got the gold star. Okay? So this is a shower. Again, really nothing really too special. But you know what? Vera, considering Vera was petite, but when you have money, why not oversize? Nothing wrong. Okay, so now we're going to close this door. So now, all the furnishings that you see are not original to the ranch house, but are from that time period. But what is original to the ranch house is this vanity. So picture Vera sitting here, looking in the mirror, putting on her makeup, getting ready for a function, a dinner, an event, whatever. So now the question is, have I opened every door?
No.
I haven't. What door haven't I opened?
The one with the pad.
Which one?
That one.
Which one?
The one with the wall.
Can you open it?
Yeah.
You see, we got some victims ahead of you. So this is the secret door leading into the secret hallway. So watch your step and go on in. Yeah, I learned the hard way. It's called duck.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Secret door, secret hallway.
Harrison actually had some really good times there to do that.
So when you're ready, I'm going to ask you to step into the secret bedroom. Okay, so you obviously made it through the secret door, through the secret hallway, into the secret bedroom. Okay? So we saw the vanity and the mirror. That's where the property actually ended. So in 1955, Vera Krupp added on this building. So obviously the building was here, okay? But the doors would be locked, the curtains would be closed, you couldn't get in, you couldn't get out, you couldn't see in, you couldn't see out. So pretty much the only one who really knew how to get back here was Vera through the secret door to come back here. We also know that Vera was diabetic. She'd come back here and give herself shots of insulin. We also know she'd go out to the canyon, collect stones, put it in this rock tumbler. She collected stones. And if you look at this side, from one rounded edge to the other rounded edge. Yes, madam, you have a question.
What are the bumping sounds?
The place is haunted. That's the best answer I got for you. You don't have to believe it though.
I don't.
It's Vera Krupp's ghost that's sitting
for
up there.
her.
She's annoyed that we're in her bedroom. Is that a good answer for you? You don't like that, huh? Well, that's all right. She's got her jewels. She's happy. She's not going to bother us. She's happy that we're showing her room. Is that okay with you? Just say yes. All right, whatever. All right, so we were talking about the pool out there. So why is the pool filled in? Well, when the state took over the property in 1974, they probably figured they better fill it in based on liability, okay? So, usually when Bob brings his groups in here, this sometimes is the only time that I usually tell this story, which is my favorite story about Vera Krupp. He's considered himself all very special. Okay? So here's the thing. You remember, Vera Krupp was from Germany. Okay? She came to Germany. She went from Germany to Hollywood before World War II. So now we go back to World War II, and there's this guy, his name is Hitler, okay? And, you know, of course now, World War II, and he goes to this guy, one of the wealthiest industrialists in Germany. His name was Alfred Krupp, okay? And he goes to Mr. Krupp and says, Mr. Krupp, stop making coffee makers, make cannons, munitions, tanks, whatever it is, to fuel the German army, okay? So as history suggests, Germany lost the war. There was something called the Nuremberg trials, and we basically know the Nazis were found guilty, and they were executed. Well, Alfred Krupp was also found guilty for crimes against humanity, and he was given 12 years in prison, but he only served 6 years in prison. So when he got out of prison, he calls up his old school friend, Vera, in Hollywood. Hey, Vera, what's going on? I just got out of prison. I'm lonely. Come hang out with me in Hamburg. Whatever went on. Well, for some reason, she went from Hollywood and she went to Hamburg, and they hung out, and they got married. They were married for 6 years, okay? Wow. But he had to stay in Germany. He was obligated to stay in Germany. She already had her American citizenship and her Hollywood obligations, okay? So they got divorced after 6 years, and during the course of their marriage, he gave her a gift called the Krupp Diamond, 33.2 carat diamond. Small, big, huge. So the smart lady that she did, she went back to Hollywood with the Krupp Diamond. So now we go back to early 1959, and Vera Krupp is sitting in front of the fireplace right here in the building, talking to a ranch hand, and 3 thieves come to the front door and steal the Krupp Diamond off her hand with an unknown amount of cash and a camera. So finally, the stone is found in New Jersey towards the latter part of 1959. Vera had just passed away from diabetes, okay? So finally, the heirs of Vera Krupp auction off the Krupp Diamond in 1968, and it's purchased by Richard Burton, who gives it to his then wife, Elizabeth Taylor, okay? So now it becomes the Krupp Taylor Diamond. So now, if you remember, about 4 years ago, all this Elizabeth Taylor stuff was auctioned off, and what happened was, the little known fact was it was sold to a wealthy Korean businessman for a modest $8.5 million. Sadly, it's on display in Korea, and not here. But when you talk about the owners and the stories about this place that's kind of in the middle of nowhere, it's pretty cool. Madam, you have a question.
What color is the diamond?
Pretty much clear. But if you want to see a picture of it, when you go out of this area, this little room off to the side, you can see pictures of the Krupp Diamond. And if you have access to the computer or smartphone, you can look it up on the internet. You know what the internet is? Of course you do. Okay. Going forwards, do you have any questions about this area? Okay, let's head on out.
Thank you, Marvin. Nice job.
Well, it's very
Very good book.
No, just
Oh,